Hey everyone, just a fair warning, this is not a power tool review, it's a review of LG's new washer and dryer, also with the LG Sidekick, the washer that fits underneath your main washer, the spot a pedestal normally goes in. So, not power tools, although my wife tried to convince me it's like power tools for laundry, and I think she just pulled off like the most clever heist slash dupe ever, because I've been doing laundry for the last month to review this. I'm pretty sure that was her master plan. So anyway, getting into the review of these things, they're a really nice washer and dryer. They've got touchscreen controls on the doors, and I'll get the model numbers for you, and since there's no way I'm remembering all of these numbers, I'll go ahead and say, I got a paper right here. The dryer is a 7.4 cubic foot dryer. It's the DLEX 5000V model number. In graphite with TurboSteam. It's got a steam hookup. You got cold water running to the back of it, so you can actually refresh your clothes and get the wrinkles out of them in like 10 minutes. If you've got to throw on your dress shirt and dress pants and get to work. The washer is a 4.5 cubic foot front-loading washer with TurboWash, and it's model number WM5000HVA, also in graphite. Both of these have the on-door controls with touchscreen panels. The Sidekick washer is model number WD100CV. And then you just got your standard 27-inch graphite pedestal down here underneath the dryer. So these are the 27-inch wide models. There's also a 29-inch wide model. There's a little bit bigger, but with my cramped laundry room, that wasn't going to happen. So space considerations is the next big thing. You have a laundry room that can even fit these things in them. So my room is 70 inches deep and 64 inches wide, and it's just barely big enough to contain these things. You can do a little bit less on the depth, but any deeper, I've got like 1.5 inches, 2 inches clearance from the door to the dryer right here. So if your door opens inward, you don't want any less deep of a room than 70 inches deep, front to back. The dryers themselves are right about, I think it's like 52 inches high. This cabinet is 54 inches to the bottom, and I got really lucky. 2 years ago when I put it in, I just, that looks like a good height, and slapped it up there. And I just got these, and luckily I did not have to move my cabinet. So this is 54 inches high, so you've got like 1.5 inches clearance under there. So these are probably like 52.5 inches high, with the pedestal under them. Width-wise, they're the 27-inch model. This is a 64-inch wide room. I've got a little bit of clearance. I've got the ironing board hung up over here on this side, and I've got like 1 inch of space on the other side. So you don't want much less space than 60 to, I really wouldn't do less than, like 60 inches. Even though they're 27-inch wide washing machines and dryers. The depth you've got here, it's 36 inches with a 4-inch dryer vent behind it. It's 36 inches out to the farthest out spot. And then when you open the doors, it's a total of 60 inches from the back wall to the front. And remember, I've only got a 70-inch deep room, so there's 10 inches clearance there. The real big factor is the door right here, though. Standard, I think it's a 30-inch door for interior doorways. So keep in mind, space considerations is first thing you need to take into account when you're looking at these. Alright, this guy down here is not another pedestal. It's actually the Sidekick washer. Pulls right out, and you've got a washing machine under your washing machine. So this is great for small loads that you want to do. You want to run at the same time as the big one. Say I've been outside in the yard and I'm all muddy and dirty. I can put everything else in that one, and I can put my dirty, disgusting clothes in this one. Probably also be good for diapers or, just things that you want to keep separate, intimates, things like that from the rest of the washer. So you've got here, you turn it on, it does its happy little song. And I don't think there's actually a way to turn that off. There might be. I haven't found it in the manual yet. We don't use this one a ton. We use it probably, 20% of the time that we're actually running a big load. So you got your selections here. On this side, you can do normal, intimates, hand wash, and on this side, you pick activewear, rinse and spin, or tub clean. Then over here, you can pick if you want warm water or not, and then extra rinse or not. I guess you can select how much extra rinse you want. And if you hold this down, you get a child lock, which just keeps the lid down. Keeps your kids from messing with it because this one is down lower, where kids can get to it. So you can go ahead and set this up to run, throw everything in it, until it start. And it won't actually start until you have it pushed back in underneath the other washers. It's telling you, hey, I can't do anything. And there we go. And you can actually see how far it's gone, how much time you have left when it's underneath there. So you can see it kind of peeking out, and you can kind of see the control board, so you can get a status check on it, but it's not sticking way out. I'm pretty sure if I try to pull this, yeah, you can't pull it out right now because it's locked in there for balance issues. It's pretty quiet too with the direct drive motor. Alright, so the washing machine and the Sidekick washer share a water supply source, so you don't need to have an extra water supply source back there. The Sidekick comes with the extra hose and a Y connector. You'll still need hoses for this washer, and don't forget you need a dryer cord for the dryer. So you need a 4-prong or a 3-prong depending on what your outlet is for a 220 volt dryer right here. The washer has got a direct drive motor, and it's a good thing because you don't have any belts and things to wear out. However, it uses a variable frequency drive motor controller, and it emits a really high-pitched whine when it's running. Now, I don't know why they didn't put it up out of the human hearing range, the whine. I used a phone app for measuring the frequency of the noise, and it's a 15.1 kilohertz whine, and it drives me nuts. Now, most people might not be able to hear that. I have a little bit better hearing. I'm right around 30 years old, and I can still hear more high frequency than most of my friends that are my age. I'll hear something and they can't hear it necessarily. And my wife said it didn't bug her as much, but she can still hear this whine a little bit from the motor. I don't know why LG didn't decide to use a little bit more expensive variable frequency driver, which would probably put that up out of human hearing range. Once you get to about 17 kilohertz, most people in their 20s and above can't hear that. It might drive your kids and pets insane, but hey, it's not going to bug you. But so I'll go ahead and start this just so you can hear it. So I'm starting the motor, and it usually starts when it tumbles back and forth a little bit. I'll tell you when I can hear it. It's filling right now. It's actually pretty quiet except for that high pitch. And when you close the door to the laundry room, oh, there it is. I don't know if my phone can pick this up, but it's a really annoying high-pitched whine that will drive me nuts if I stay in the room with this thing. So luckily the door damps quite a bit of it. Yeah, there it is again. When it's just turning that motor really slow, when it's doing the half spins back and forth, when it's tumbling it, it's just really bad. So what I do, if you are worried this is going to bug you, and that's not just this washer, that's probably going to be most direct drive washing machines out there. So it might not just be the LG model, it might be any other brand's models doing the same thing. So I'd go look up on YouTube or some other place to find sound playback and just play a bunch of different tones. And if you can't hear 15 kilohertz, hey, that won't bug you at all. But if it really is, piercing and loud for you, then you might not want this washer if you can't close the door and shut it off from everything else. If your laundry room is in right next to the kitchen, it's just in like a pantry without like a good solid door between it, it might kind of drive you crazy. So just a heads up, probably not a deal breaker on this thing, but a definite consideration depending on where your laundry room is located. Man, I've got to turn that thing off, it's just driving me nuts. So I'll cover the control panel here in just a bit, and then we'll move on to the dryer. Alright, so controls on the washer, you've got your power button. The controls are in a lot of the same spots. You've got a lot of the same setups like normal, heavy duty, bedding. Those are all the same in sportswear and permapress and delicates and towels. These are all in the same spots as they are in the dryer. so it makes it easy to remember, oh, I was just on this setting. I can set it to the corresponding one on the washer and the dryer. You've got a Wi-Fi hookup right here. You can use your app to control this thing, get status updates, how many minutes are left in each cycle. When you turn it on, it defaults to normal, and you can just go ahead and hold it to start. But if you want to change any of these, oh, I guess it will change some of these. Okay. Normally you have to turn this and then turn it back to get it to turn on. Maybe I just haven't been waiting long enough. So with this selection knob, you just spin it, and it's a little bit annoying because I can actually, if I really want to crank it, I'm spinning it halfway around and it's only moving one setting. So it's not very responsive. I wish it was a little bit more responsive. So you select your cycle and you can see the times for each of these, and it varies. And you can change the temperature, spin settings, no spin, low, medium, high, extra high, the soil settings on your clothes, and the signal, so you can mute all these beeps if you want to. See, now it's not making any sound. And then you can set, a couple of different things. You can turn the drum light on and off. You can set an extra long rinse. Yeah, the ones with the star here, you've got an asterisk by it. It's actually, you just hold it to change the settings. So that's about it for the washer control panel. I really like that they're on the door right here. It looks really slick. The only problem is if I'm assuming if the control panel ever goes out, I'm going to have to replace the whole door, which probably will not be cheap. Alright, so taking a look inside the washer, you just grab here on the side and pull it open. You can switch the side the doors on the washer and dryer if you want them on opposite sides. You just have to come back here with the hinges and flip some things around and flip this plate to the other side as well. Alright, so looking in here, you've got your pretty standard drum. It's a high efficiency washer, and since it's front loading, it spins on the horizontal axis, and you don't have any agitator in the center, so you can do bigger items without having them get all twisted up like big giant king size bedspreads. It does a pretty good job of tumbling. Does a pretty good job of spinning it dry too. You've got your seals right here. They've actually still got a little bit of a rubbery smell, and it's been about a month, so I don't know if that's going to go away or not. We leave it airing out every time we run it. You can see we just ran a load, and there's still water on the inside, so we actually leave the door open, and if it's really wet, we wipe it down. I think the instructions say to wipe it down, just so you don't get any mold or mildew building up on the seals right here. We haven't had any issues with that so far. Alright, for adding detergent and fabric softener and things like this, it's got a sliding lid. This actually feels a little bit flimsy. It's all plastic, I'm pretty sure. It's got a plastic track as well right here on the sides. But you've got your liquid bleach, your fabric softener, your pre-wash, and your main wash. This can do powder or regular HE detergent. Right now we've got it configured for powder because there's a little insert in here for detergent. And this just closes right back up and pops closed. Like I said, it feels a little flimsy. You can see right here it's not a good fit up against the door. Obviously, if it was super tight against the door, you couldn't open the door easily. But it's just kind of not super high quality. I'm not terribly impressed with it for the price point of this washer. Alright, so let's take a look at the dryer. You got the pull handle right here in the side of the door. It's got a good retention. Swings right open. And on the inside, remember there's a 7.4 cubic foot dryer, so it's pretty big. You've got your moisture sensor right up there that can tell when the clothes are done, although it usually leaves them a little bit damp, even when I set this on very dry. Dryer, you had one job. Down here is the lint filter. It pops right open and clean it out. It's actually really easy to clean, unlike some of the other ones I've had where you have to scrape at them a bunch of times. And the dryer will tell you on the front panel if you forgot to pull this out and put it back in after it's done with a drying cycle. Dryer control panel has a lot going on. The power button's right here. Just hit power to turn it on. And one of the annoying things is it's got all these settings over here, but you can't actually mess with any of them until you turn it from normal to something else. It didn't even turn right there. I gave it a click and it just, oh, you want to do crap? Okay, here you go. So you can change the dry level, and like I said, I usually set it to vary, and even when I set it to vary, it's still a little bit damp whenever I get the clothes out of it. So that's actually one of the things. This dryer, which costs $1,500, isn't actually doing better than my old dryer, which I think was about $500 or $600. So that's a little bit annoying. Then over here, you can turn your signal on or off. So you know we've got a tone, and it plays a little tune whenever you turn it on and off, and whenever it's done drying. You can see right here it's got a Wi-Fi signal. You can actually hook that up to an app on your phone. The app's a little bit buggy, but it does give you notifications whenever your dryer is done. You can also do a remote start option where you can start it from wherever you're at. So if you're out running errands, you can set remote start before you leave. You have to do it before you leave. And then, if you're on your way home, you can go ahead and open your app and say remote start, and it'll start drying. So your settings you've got normal, heavy duty, and you can see the times for each of these over here. Bedding, low temperature dry, antibacterial, steam fresh. Actually, I use this one quite a bit. If you've got dress shirts or something like that, or pants that are wrinkled, you haven't hung them up or anything, you can actually throw them in here and set it to steam fresh. And in about 5 to 10 minutes, the steam hookup on the back here steams it and tumbles it, and you have nice wrinkle-free clothes. If you get up in the morning and you forget and you don't have any laundry that's not wrinkled. Steam sanitary. I guess that's if you got stuff on your clothes that you really want to get out, get the germs out. You can do downloaded cycles, customized cycles like that. Air dry, speed dry, towels, delicates, permapress, sportswear. Over here you've got your remote start option. You can do smart grid, where it'll start during a non-peak hour for your power grid. So if you've got something like that, a variable rate, it can save you a little bit of money there. Also got a sliding lid up on the top right here, which actually feels a little bit cheap. And then you've got storage. I've just got like the dryer leveling kit right here and a flashlight, and the measure cup for the powder detergent for the washer. And it clicks down right there. Alright, not to leave our pedestal out right here. Go ahead and open this up. It's got a divider that comes out. You can put it back in. It's got room for, we got microfiber mops here, detergent, odds and ends. We actually haven't filled this up quite yet. And pop that back in there securely. It comes out about this far, about as far as the door does, and then slides back in. Honestly, I think it's like $350 for this thing. In graphite, it's a little bit cheaper if you get a white one. I think if I didn't want to match it with the Sidekick washer, I'd probably build my own cabinets for this and save quite a bit of money. But if you're not handy, this does look really nice, matching the washer and dryer. So there's always that option of you got your pedestal and your Sidekick. It looks really good with the Sidekick. You can barely tell them apart until you see the control panel on the Sidekick. Alright, so I've got the dryer over there in the background set to remote start, and I've got my LG Smart Laundry app pulled up. And go ahead and select the dryer. I've already done the pairing through my Wi-Fi network, and it's got remote start. It says it's set to on. Select the dry cycle to begin drying, so I can click on this, and it pulls it on up. So I can change the cycle from here, whatever I want it to be. I'll just leave it on normal. I can change the dry level. I want it very dry. Like I said, this thing has problems getting everything dry, even on very dry. You can change it to time dry. You can basically do all the settings you've got on the dryer itself. And then you can go ahead and hit start. And voila, you can see the dryer just started. Then the app gives you updates. It says we've got 59 minutes left. It'll progress through that, and it'll actually go ahead and give you an estimated time and it'll be finished. And it gives you status updates. You can pause it and power off the dryer. If you power off the dryer, though, you can't turn it back on. So your dryer has to be on and in standby mode, remote start mode for this thing to work. So we'll go ahead and back out here on the main app. Some things I don't like about this, to get to another machine, you've got to go to settings, and then you've got to go change product. It's not super intuitive how to get back there. I wish you could just hit back again and it would go out, and you can go and select whatever else. The Sidekick washer down there does not have a Wi-Fi connect, so it's just the main washer that you can start. And as you can see, the washer behind me is off, and it says offline, and there's nothing you can do about it to get it started. You just have to turn it on and have to set it to remote start to use it offline. Something else I don't really like about this, the app's a little bit buggy when you pull it up. It always asks, like, you know, do you want to use it on Wi-Fi or on your regular data network, and you can't turn that off. And now watch it crash as I turn off our notification alarm here. It does it whether or not your washer or dryer is on. Apparently won't even do it. Oh yeah, error, there we go. And it crashed my phone, or crashed the app. Go ahead and log back into the Smart Laundry app. See, we've got our extra data usage warning. So the app's not perfect, it's pretty good. I wish you could start these things from a standby sleep mode where, you know, they're actually off and they've got a low power mode that will turn them on when you try to activate them. So that's a little bit annoying. Then you also have to specifically set it to remote start to use either of these. Instead of just being able to have it on and waiting. And see, we're already counting down. We've got, apparently I've been yammering on for 2 minutes because we're down from 59 minutes to 57. And this will give you push notifications whenever you're done. And like I said, you can't turn them off in the app. You can probably go to main Android. I'm running Android Lollipop on this, 5.0.1 on my Galaxy S4, and it runs just fine, except for being occasionally buggy. Alright, so there you have it. App connection through Wi-Fi to your washer and dryer. Alright, let's talk value. These things are super nice. The controls are top of the line. They've got all the bells and whistles. They've got Wi-Fi connection. The price tag on these, MSRP is like $4 grand for everything here. The Pedestal, the Sidekick washer, and then the washer and dryer. It sometimes goes on sale for about 10% less than that, so like $3,600 around there. You might be able to find an even better deal than that, I'm not sure. But it is a really big price tag for these, and the old washer and dryer I had were like $500 to $600 each, so $1,200. I didn't have any pedestals for them. So like $1,200 versus 3 times that for these. I'm not sure these are 3 times as good as my old washer and dryer, especially since this dryer, you know, has issues getting everything dry. I mean, seriously, it's a dryer. It has one job, right? So you have to run this a couple more times, even if you've got it set to very dry. Occasionally, you still get damp collars and damp sleeves, and you know, if you've got a hoodie or something, it's usually almost 100% of the time still damp when you're done washing and drying it. So they're really nice, but I don't know if they're $4,000 nice. So hopefully this review is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section below. And once again, don't forget to subscribe.